Hello, my friends. It's Miss Karamy back with another story time from the Crystal Lake Public Library, just for you. I have a very fun book today. I do. It is from my little cousin, Caleb. He loves this book. It's called The Prince and the Witch and the Thief and the Bears. I love a good story with like knights and witches and kings and princesses and monsters and bears. It's by Alastair Chisholm. It's a bedtime story from a dad to his son. How many of your dads tell you bedtime stories? I bet a lot of them do. I think it's very fun when your dad makes up his own story sometimes and doesn't necessarily need a book because they have very, very, very good ideas, don't they? Moms do too. Yep. And sometimes grandpas and sometimes big brothers and big sisters and dogs. I think dogs have lots of good ideas too. If a dog could tell you a story, wouldn't that be exciting? Look at that. It's a dad and his son. It looks like bedtime, doesn't it? Yep. What kind of story shall we have tonight? Asked Dad as he tucked Jamie into bed one evening. A made-up one, said Jamie, with a prince and a bear and a witch and more bears. All right, said Dad. Why not? Why not indeed? Bears are good. This, said Dad, is a story called The Prince and the Witch and the Thief and the Bears by Jamie's dad. Look at that. Oh, dragon. Once upon a time, said Dad. All good stories start like that, don't they? Yes. Once upon a time, said Dad, there lived a valiant prince. Valiant means brave. Yes. He was brave and a noble prince, and he lived in a far-off kingdom where How far off? Said Jamie. Well, what? Asked Dad. How far off was the kingdom? The kingdom, said Dad, was, it was far, far away, way on the top of the highest mountains in a world, Mount really, really tall, where fierce bears and dragons and wolves prowled. Wow, look at those crazy bears and those dragons. And that is Mount really, really tall. It's very tall. How fierce were the bears? Asked Jamie. They were very fierce, said Dad. Enormous and shaggy with thick matted hair and vicious claws as big as your head. Huge, huge claws. Look at those bears. So how did the prince get past the bears then? That's a good question. He climbed down the cliffside where the bears couldn't reach, said Dad. Look at that, climbing down, and those bears just can't reach. Nope. Wow, said Jamie. With his horse as well? Yeah, said Dad. He carried his horse on his back. Yeah. Wow, said Jamie. He was very strong, said Dad. Very, very strong to carry a horse on his back. Yeah. So, said Dad, there was this prince, and he was very brave. And one day he set off to rescue a beautiful princess. Why couldn't the princess rescue the prince? Complained Jamie. Mom says princesses in stories are rubbish. Sometimes they are. They just sit in a tower and just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. Oh, no way. Well, in this story, it's the prince. I want it to be the princess, said Jamie. All right, replied Dad. Why not? Here we go. The very brave princess set off. No, actually, I would like it to be the prince, said Jamie. The prince, exclaimed Dad, set off to rescue the princess. Yes, he did. Look at that. Hi-ho, hi-ho. He's going to rescue the princess. Yes, the princess was a prisoner in a dark tower at the edge of the forest. She was being held there by her wicked aunt, who was really a witch with an evil eye. Do you know anybody with an evil eye? I don't. I've never seen an evil eye before. Look at that. That's a pretty evil eye. Yeah. How evil? So evil, he could turn you into stone, said Dad. Or jello? Asked Amy. No, stone, said Dad. But maybe jello sometimes? Well, okay. Just sometimes, said Dad. Good, said Jamie, because I like jello. Look at that, the witch. She's missing a tooth and, oh no. Look at the bunny. The little cute bunny is turned to stone. Oh no. And look at the bear. That bear is turned to wiggly strawberry jello. And the dragon, before, stone, after. And look, the wolf, before, after, wiggly jello. Yeah, I don't think that I would like to be jello. The witch had locked the princess up in the tower. Why did she do that? Said Jamie. She did it to set a trap for the prince. The witch hated the prince because he had laughed at her only friend. Was that very nice? A tiny green frog was her only friend. Oh, he's very cute. A tiny green frog, just as big as your thumb, who lived in the folds of the witch's cloak. And so it was that the prince rode for many miles until he reached the tower, a terribly awful place called Castle Broccoli, said Jamie darkly. Castle Broccoli, said Dad. Yeah, I don't like broccoli, said Jamie. Okay. I like broccoli. Do you like broccoli? Well, Jamie didn't. Nope. At the top of the disgusting, hideous Castle Broccoli, the prince looked for the princess, but before he could rescue her, what happened? Look at the bears. What happened? What do you think? The witch caught him, shouted Jamie. Yeah, the witch caught him, said Dad. And they had a fight, shouted Jamie. And they had a fight, agreed Dad. Because the witch was really a ninja, said Jamie. Because the witch was really a ninja. Yes, exactly, said Dad. The witch who was really a ninja attacked the prince with a mighty leaping kick. Oh, oh no. But he dodged and she flew over the castle walls and those bears look hungry. And she was eaten by the bears, said Dad. Oh, said Jamie. Dad looked down. What's wrong? He asked. Well, I liked the witch, said Jamie. She was a ninja, and she had an evil eye and a frog. And anyway, it was that silly princess' fault for laughing, and she never even turned anyone into jello. Huh, said Dad. Right. The witch was eaten by the bears, he said, or so it seemed. Wow. But at the last minute, the princess, who was secretly a famous jewel thief called Fingers Malloy, picked the lock of her cell and ran to the wall and threw down her grappling rope and caught the witch. Ha 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 ha! Yay! Fingers Malloy, all right. But then the tiny frog fell out of the witch's cloak. Oh no, said Jamie. Oh no, said the prince. Said Dad. Yeah. The witch grabbed the frog, and the princess and the prince heaved her back up, just in time from those hungry bears. And the horse helped, said Jamie. And the horse helped, of course, said Dad. Together, they all pulled the witch and her frog back to the top of the castle and to safety. Hooray! The witch was so grateful to them for rescuing her frog that she said, "Sorry for capturing the princess." And the prince said, "Sorry to the witch for laughing at the frog." And the prince and the princess, who was secretly a jewel thief, Fingers Malloy, set off home to their next adventure. Well, that's very nice. I do like an adventure. As night fell and the stars twinkled over the land of Mount Really, Really Tall, the witch tucked the frog back into the folds of her cloak, where it was nice and warm. You see, he's going to go to sleep there too. And Dad tucked Jamie under the covers. "How warm?" asked Jamie, blinking sleepily. "As warm," said Dad, "as a lovely warm bug snuggled up in a rug with a hug from his dad who loves him." "How much?" murmured Jamie. "As much," whispered Dad softly, "as your daddy loves you." "Daddy," whispered Jamie. "Yes," said Dad. "What about the bears?" "Don't worry," said Dad. "We will find out about them tomorrow." Very good. And he kissed Jamie goodnight, and he left him to dream. Look at that. Castle Broccoli. It's not so terrible. And those bears are sleeping. Oh, and the dragons are watching. I wonder what will happen tomorrow with the bears. I wonder. Maybe you should make up a story about what the bears do. Yeah. I wonder if they're really kind bears, or maybe they're really grumpy bears, or maybe the bears are space aliens in disguise who have come from a different planet and they're going to steal the Broccoli Castle. Maybe not. Maybe so. Why don't you tell me what you think the bears will do? Yeah, why don't you come on into the library and say hello? We really would love to see you. All right, my friends. Thanks for coming. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.